There comes a time in life when you find yourself in a situation that feels like a slow destruction of your spirit, undermining your happiness and health and sense of self. It's not weakness. It's a quiet signal that something needs to change. You may be in a relationship where you are no longer respected, in a job that is draining you without any fulfillment, or stuck in a cycle of obligation and guilt that leaves you devastated. Today, we're going to look at 9 specific times when leaving is not just an option, but an act of courage and self-respect. We believe how making these difficult decisions, guided by the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, can lead to significant personal growth and a life aligned with your true values. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, we'll have a clearer understanding of when to let go, how to embrace new possibilities, and why leaving can be the strongest and boldest decision you can make. 1. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, whether it be personal or professional. When respect starts to fade, you can feel it in every interaction. Perhaps your ideas are dismissed in meetings, your partner interrupts you, or your friends constantly ignore your boundaries. These small, insignificant actions accumulate over time and make you feel invisible. It's like standing on a shaky foundation that could collapse at any moment. Stoics remind us that our self-respect shouldn't depend on the opinions or actions of others, but it's incredibly difficult to maintain when you're surrounded by disrespect. In a job where respect is lacking, you may notice a decrease in enthusiasm and productivity. Your contributions go unnoticed, or worse, someone else gets recognized for your hard work. This isn't just a blow to your professional pride. It's a signal that you're not valued in that environment. The same goes for personal relationships. When your partner, family, or friends don't respect you the way you deserve, it's not just hurtful, it's toxic. It can make you doubt your worth and put a huge strain on your mental health. Walking away from these situations is not about giving up. It's about reclaiming your dignity and self-respect. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions. You can't control how others treat you, but you can choose to walk away from environments that don't respect you. This is an act of self-preservation, a statement that you deserve better. By leaving, you are not only protecting your mental and emotional well-being, but you are setting a powerful precedent for your future interactions. You are telling yourself and the world that you will not tolerate disrespect. It's not an easy decision, but it takes tremendous strength and self-awareness. But by doing so, you are creating space in your life for relationships and opportunities that align with your values and support you. Think about it. Every moment you spend in a place where you are disrespected is a moment taken away from finding and building a life where you are valued and respected. It's not just walking away from negativity. It's opening the door to a positive, respectful environment. This act of walking away is a significant step toward personal growth and self-respect. Respect is non-negotiable. It is the foundation of every meaningful interaction. So when you find yourself in a situation where it is lacking, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Focus on what you can control and have the courage to walk away. Your self-esteem and inner peace are far more valuable than being in an environment that diminishes you. Second, your health is your most valuable asset. It is the foundation upon which everything else in your life is built. When you find yourself in a situation that is negatively impacting your mental or physical health, this is a clear signal that something needs to change. We often experience stress, anxiety, and physical tension, thinking it's just part of life. But when these issues become chronic, these are red flags that can't be ignored. Consider a job that demands more from you than you can give. Long hours, constant pressure, and a toxic work environment can lead to burnout, stress, and even serious health problems like insomnia or high blood pressure. Your body and mind can only handle a certain amount of stress before it starts to break down. It's crucial to heed these warning signs and take action before it's too late. The Stoics believed in the importance of balance and moderation, and overstepping your limits is a clear violation of these principles in personal relationships. The stakes are just as high. If you are in a situation where constant conflict, neglect, or emotional abuse affect your mental health, it's important to recognize the harm being done. Anxiety, depression, and feeling trapped can come from being in a toxic relationship. Stoics teach us to value our inner peace and avoid those who disturb it. Leaving a harmful relationship is not a sign of failure. It is a courageous step to protecting your mental health and reclaiming your peace. Physical health is just as important. Perhaps you are engaging in an activity or lifestyle that is causing you physical harm. Maybe it's a sport that your body can no longer handle, or habits that are gradually wearing you down. Ignoring physical harm can lead to long-term damage. The Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature includes caring for our physical bodies as part of our natural existence. We must respect our limits and listen to what our bodies are telling us. Walking away from situations that are detrimental to your health is an act of wisdom. It's about recognizing that your well-being should always come first. This wisdom includes knowing when to let go of what no longer serves you and putting your health above external obligations or pressures. Imagine how your life could change if you put your mental and physical health first. Leaving your taxicab environment, you open doors for healing and growth. You give yourself space to rebuild. This may mean finding a job that honors your work-life balance, maintaining relationships that respect you, or adopting a lifestyle that promotes your well-being. Your health is not something to jeopardize. It is the foundation of your ability to live a full and meaningful life. By recognizing when a situation is harming you and having the courage to walk away, you are choosing to honor and protect yourself. Stoics remind us that true strength lies in our ability to maintain inner peace and harmony. So prioritize your health, make the necessary changes, and remember that walking away from that which harms you is a powerful act of self-defense and wisdom. Third, your values are the core principles that guide your actions in life. They define who you are and what you are valuable for. When you find yourself in situations that force you to compromise these values, it creates a deep internal conflict that can be incredibly troubling. Whether in the workplace, in personal relationships, or in any other area of your life, living a life that conflicts with your values can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and anxiety. Stoics emphasize the importance of living in accordance with your principles and virtues, believing that true happiness comes from aligning your actions with your inner beliefs. Think about a job that requires you to act unethically or against your moral principles. Every time you compromise your values for a job, you feel as part of your integrity slips away. It's not just a feeling of discomfort, it's a loss of contact with yourself. Stoics such as Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed that maintaining your integrity and virtue was the foundation for a full and meaningful life. When your work conflicts with these ideals, it's a clear signal that it may be time to quit. In personal relationships, compromising your values can be just as destructive. Perhaps you're in a relationship where you're pressured to behave in a way that doesn't align with your beliefs, or you're surrounded by people whose actions and attitudes contradict what you are valued for. Over time, this dissonance can erode your sense of self and lead to constant inner torment. Stoics teach us to choose our companions wisely, as the people we spend our time with can greatly influence our character and well-being. If your values are constantly being compromised in your relationships, it may be necessary to reevaluate, and it may be necessary to walk away to maintain your integrity. Walking away from situations that compromise your values is not an act of weakness. It is a demonstration of strength and self-respect. It shows that you are committed to living authentically and putting your principles above convenience or external approval. Stoic philosophy encourages us to act in accordance with our true nature and to remain steadfast in our virtues despite external pressures. By doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and harmony that is vital to our overall well-being. Imagine the freedom and strength that comes from living a life fully aligned with your values. When you make decisions that reflect your principles, you build a solid foundation of self-respect and confidence. You become a person that others can rely on and trust, not because you always do what is easy, but because you consistently do what is right. The Stoics believed that such integrity is the key to true happiness and fulfillment. It is important to recognize that compromising your values, even in seemingly minor aspects, can have a cumulative effect. Each time you act against your principles, it becomes a little easier to do it again, leading to a slippery slope that ultimately distances you from your true self. By resisting and walking away from situations that require compromising your values, you make a powerful statement about who you are and why you are valuable. This act of courage and integrity can inspire others to do the same, creating an effect of positive change. Fourth, when we stop evolving, we begin to feel stagnant and unsatisfied. It's like being stuck in a rut where every day feels like a monotonous repetition of the past, whether it's your career, personal life, or hobby. The Stoics believed in the constant pursuit of wisdom and self-development, viewing life as a path of continuous growth. When you're no longer moving forward, it's a clear sign that something needs to change. Consider your career. There may have been a time when your job was challenging and exciting, full of opportunities to learn new skills and advance. But now it feels like you're just fulfilling responsibilities. There are no new challenges, no room for advancement, no excitement. This lack of growth can lead to a deep sense of dissatisfaction and boredom. Stoics teach us to strive for excellence in everything we do, and to look for opportunities to grow and improve. If your current job doesn't provide these opportunities, it may be time to explore new avenues that will reignite your enthusiasm and curiosity. In your personal life, lack of growth can also be a significant problem. Relationships, for example, need to be dynamic and evolving, helping both partners to grow and become better versions of themselves. If you find that your relationship is stagnant, where interactions seem repetitive and uninspiring, it may be time to rethink it. The same goes for your personal interests and hobbies. And if a hobby that once brought you joy and excitement now seems dull and tinny, this is a sign that you need to look for new ways to grow and learn. The Stoics valued the pursuit of knowledge and personal development and encouraged you to constantly seek out experiences that challenge and inspire you. Leaving a situation where you are no longer learning or growing is an act of sorrow and wisdom. It's about recognizing your potential and refusing to be satisfied with less than you deserve. The Stoics believed that our time on earth is limited and that we should use it wisely. By constantly striving to improve ourselves and our understanding of the world, seeking out new opportunities and challenges. Are you honoring this principle and making the most of your life? Imagine the excitement and fulfillment that comes from a constant state of growth and learning. When you challenge yourself and step out of your comfort zone, you open up a world of possibilities. You develop new skills and gain fresh perspectives, and become more resilient and adaptable. This continual growth not only improves your professional and personal life, but also contributes to your overall well-being and happiness. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living in accordance with your nature, which includes the desire to learn and grow. It is important to recognize that growth often requires leaving behind the familiar and comfortable. This can be daunting, but it is a necessary step to reaching your full potential. The Stoics taught that discomfort and challenge are necessary for personal growth. By embracing change and seeking new experiences, you cultivate resilience and strength. This willingness to grow and learn is a testament to your commitment to living a full and meaningful life. Fifth, when your efforts are not appreciated, We've all been there, giving our all in some situation and feeling like it's barely noticed, let alone appreciated. Whether it's work, friendships, or family relationships, being invisible can be incredibly frustrating. You put in countless hours working, helping a friend, or constantly supporting your loved ones, only to find that your efforts are met with indifference or expectation. It's draining and can leave you completely exhausted when your hard work and dedication goes unrecognized, a clear sign that something needs to change. In the workplace, it can feel like constantly putting in extra effort without a single thank you or recognition from your boss. Your contributions become expected. They are not appreciated, and soon you start to burn out. The Stoic approach teaches us to focus on our own strengths and actions rather than seeking recognition from others. However, it's important to recognize when your environment consistently fails to appreciate you. This can lead to long-term dissatisfaction and low self-esteem. In personal relationships, being unnoticed can be even more painful. Imagine always scheduling meetings, offering support, or making sacrifices, only to have those gestures go unnoticed. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment and feelings of emptiness. You may start to wonder, why are you trying so hard if it's not reciprocated or appreciated? It's not about constantly seeking praise. It's about mutual respect and appreciation. Walking away from a situation where you were taken for granted is a powerful act of self-respect. It's not about being selfish. It's about realizing your worth and refusing to accept less than you deserve. Stoics remind us that we don't have to depend on the approval of others for our sense of self-worth. By leaving an environment where your efforts are unappreciated, you create space for opportunities and relationships that truly recognize and value your contributions. This decision can be a difficult one. There is often a fear of the unknown. What if you leave and don't find a better job or lose a friend? But staying in a place where you are unappreciated can be much more damaging. In the long run, it is a slow destruction of your self-esteem and happiness. The Stoics advised us to act according to our principles and values, even if it means making difficult decisions. Put your well-being and growth above the comfort of the familiar. Imagine redirecting your energy and time to people and places that truly value you. This shift will not only boost your morale, but will align your life with the principles of mutual respect and appreciation. It's about creating a balanced dynamic where your efforts are recognized and rewarded. This balance is vital to maintaining healthy relationships and positive self-talk. As the Stoics teach us, your dignity is innate and should not depend on the recognition of others. Stand firm in this belief and don't be afraid to move on from those who don't appreciate what you bring to their lives. Sixth, staying in a situation solely because of guilt or obligation. This can be incredibly draining and unsatisfying. This is a common scenario. We often feel obligated to stay in a relationship because we feel guilty about leaving or believe it's our duty to stay. However, when your primary reason for staying is guilt or obligation it's a sign that it's time to reevaluate your situation. The Stoics teach us to live in accordance with our true nature and to act out of true intention, not out of pressure or false guilt. Think about a job where you feel you have to stay because you don't want to let your co-workers down or you are afraid of being judged by others. Maybe the job no longer brings you joy or doesn't meet your career goals, but the thought of leaving fills you with guilt. You may worry about the extra strain your quitting will put on your team or fear disappointing your boss. But staying in a role that serves you more than a sense of duty can lead to resentment and burnout. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your inner values and recognizing that you are in control of your own decisions, not the opinions or expectations of others. In personal relationships, guilt and commitment can be even more powerful. You may stay in a friendship or romantic relationship because you feel responsible for the other person's happiness, or because you have been together for a long time. You may worry that leaving will hurt them or feel you have an obligation to stay. However, if the relationship is no longer healthy or fulfilling for you. Staying because of commitment is unfair for either party. Stoics remind us that authentic relationships are built on mutual respect and voluntary commitment, not guilt or obligation. It is important to act with integrity and honesty, both to yourself and to others. Leaving a situation where you only stay because of guilt or obligation is an act of self-respect and authenticity. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are valuable, and that you deserve to spend it on what is truly meaningful and satisfying. Imagine the freedom and power that comes from making decisions aligned with your authentic self. When you let go of guilt and obligation, you open up space in your life for opportunities and relationships that truly resonate with you. This shift can lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and personal growth. Stoics believe that life involves making decisions reflecting your core values and pursuing what truly matters to you, rather than being influenced by external pressures. It is important to recognize that leaving a situation because of guilt or obligation can be difficult. There may be initial discomfort and difficult conversations, but ultimately, it is a step towards a more authentic and fulfilling life. By making decisions that express your true self, you cultivate a sense of your own peace and wholeness. 7th, trust is the foundation of all meaningful relationships, whether it be friendship, a romantic partnership, or a professional relationship. Trust makes us feel secure and valued. When trust is seriously undermined, it feels like the earth is leaving under your feet. This undermining can manifest in many forms. Deception, betrayal, or dishonesty often leaves deep emotional wounds. Props emphasize the importance of honesty and integrity, teaching us that our character is defined by our actions and the trust we build with others. When trust is broken, this is a signal that something has fundamentally changed in the relationship. Imagine finding out that a close friend is spreading false rumors about you, or discovering that your partner has been unfaithful. These breaches of trust are not only hurtful, they fundamentally change the dynamics of the relationship. It becomes difficult, if not impossible, to continue to interact with the same degree of openness and vulnerability. Marcus Aurelius, for example, taught that we must accept the reality of the world and the actions of others, but we must also act to protect our inner peace and integrity. In a professional environment, a serious breach of trust can include a colleague misappropriating your credit or a boss making false promises. These actions can undermine your confidence and create a toxic work environment. When you can no longer trust the people you work with, it becomes difficult to stay motivated and engaged. If trust is undermined in a way that compromises your ability to do your job effectively and ethically, it may be time to consider leaving. Leaving a relationship or situation where trust is seriously undermined is not about running away from difficulties. It's about protecting your emotional and mental well-being. It's about recognizing that trust, once undermined, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. Think about the long-term consequences of being in a situation where trust is broken. Constant doubt and anxiety can severely undermine your mental health. You may constantly question another person's actions and motives, which can be debilitating and undermining. Seneca, the eminent Stoic philosopher, taught that our peace of mind should not be sacrificed to maintain a relationship that no longer serves us. Imagine the relief and strength that comes from leaving a situation where trust is broken. By leaving, you open up the possibility of a new, healthier relationship built on mutual respect and trust. You also send a powerful message to yourself and others about your self-worth and the standards you expect in your interactions. It's important to recognize that leaving a relationship where trust has been undermined can be incredibly difficult. It can involve difficult conversations and the loss of a relationship that once meant a lot to you. However, it's important to remember that your well-being and integrity are paramount. The Stoics teach us to face such challenges with courage and wisdom. Sometimes the most virtuous path is also the most difficult. 8th, losing oneself can be one of the most disorienting and painful experiences. It often happens gradually, over time, as you put the needs and expectations of others above your own. You may wake up one day and realize that you no longer recognize the person looking back at you in the mirror. This loss of self can happen in different aspects of life, relationships, career, social circles, and it leaves you with a sense of emptiness and disconnection. Think about a relationship where you are constantly compromising your own desires and values to keep the peace or please your partner. Over time, you may find that you have molded yourself to the expectations of others, neglecting your own identity in the process. This can lead to a deep sense of loss and confusion in your career. Loss of self can occur when you are so focused on climbing the career ladder or fulfilling external definitions of success that you forget why you started in the first place. You may find yourself in a role that looks great on paper, but leaves you dissatisfied and disconnected from your passions. Stoics would encourage you to reflect on what really matters to you and ensures that your work aligns with your values and interests. It's important to seek out roles and environments that allow you to be your true self and contribute in ways that matter to you. Social circles and friendships can also contribute to this loss of self. If you're surrounded by people whose values and lifestyles don't resonate with you, it's easy to start adjusting to fit in. Over time, this can undermine your sense of identity. The Stoics believed in the importance of choosing your mates wisely and ensuring that your relationships reflect your true self. Seneca advised to seek friendships based on mutual respect and shared values, as these relationships help us grow and stay true to ourselves. It is important to recognize that reclaiming yourself can be a difficult process. It can involve difficult decisions and leaving behind people or situations that were once comfortable. However, it is a necessary step to living a life that truly reflects your values and passions. The Stoics would encourage you to approach this path with courage and self-compassion, realizing that true satisfaction comes from living in harmony with your inner self. 9th, reaching the point where you have done everything. If you've done everything to the best of your ability, but still aren't seeing progress or positive change, it can be incredibly discouraging. That moment of exhaustion, when despite your best efforts, things remain stubbornly unchanged. This can occur in various aspects of life, relationships, career, or personal projects. When you've done everything you can and the result hasn't changed, it may be time to recognize that it's not a reflection of your value or effort, but a sign that it's time to move on. Think about a relationship where you tried every possible way to communicate, to fix, and do your best. You were patient, apathetic, and worked hard to resolve conflicts. But despite all your efforts, the relationship remains unsatisfying or toxic. It can be incredibly draining, both emotionally and mentally. It's a clear sign that continuing may do more harm than good. There may be a project or work role in your professional life that you've invested a significant amount of time and energy into. You've implemented new strategies, worked hard, and dedicated yourself to making things better. But the results aren't meeting your expectations, and there's no sign of improvement. This can lead to burnout and frustration. It's important to know when you need to change direction, seek new opportunities, or even quit completely to protect your well-being and professional growth. Personal projects and goals can also reach a point where, despite your best efforts and dedication, progress seems impossible. It could be a creative endeavor, some goal, or any personal ambition. When you have exhausted all possibilities and feel stuck, it is easy to fall into a pattern of self-deprecation and despair. Sometimes wisdom lies in recognizing the right time to let go and redirecting your energy to more fruitful pursuits. Leaving after you've done all you can is not a sign of failure. It's about realizing the limits of your influence beyond your control. By walking away from situations that no longer serve you, You create space for new opportunities and experiences that more closely align with your goals and values. Imagine the relief and release that comes from recognizing that you have done your best. By letting go, you free yourself from the cycle of disappointment and despair. This act of movement opens up opportunities for learning and new beginnings. Stoics teach us that life is a series of opportunities for growth, and sometimes growth means knowledge. When you need to walk away, it is important to approach this decision with self-compassion and understanding. Walking away does not diminish the value of your efforts or the significance of what you are trying to accomplish. Instead, it emphasizes your resilience and your commitment to living authentically and purposefully. Stoics encourages you to see this as part of your journey. Step onto new paths that can offer greater fulfillment and success. In the journey of life, knowing when to walk away is a profound act of courage and self-respect. It's about valuing your peace, your integrity, and your growth above everything else. Remember, every step you take towards living authentically is a step towards a more fulfilling and meaningful life. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and give it a like. Thank you so much.